Hello and welcome to today's video and another pen review today, and this is one I'm really excited about. I've actually wanted to review this pen for quite a while, and I'm very grateful to Inked Pens here in Australia for loaning me one for review, and it is the Ferris Wheel Press Brush Fountain Pen. Now, Ferris Wheel Press, if you are not familiar with them, are a Canadian company who run an in-house store, and they do, letterpress stuff, and they do stationery, have a range of inks and pens, and this is their fountain pen, and it's beautiful, and this packaging is just absolutely stunning, and it's just a lovely it says they're designed and assembled in Toronto, Canada. And this is the fountain pen. This is the teal version. And this is how it comes packaged. So you take that off, and then the pen is here in this little sleeve, which has a little maple leaf on the bottom there. Lovely, from Canada. And here is the pen, and I think it is really cute. So this is the teal version. There are a number of other finishes, which is great. And I suppose the biggest design element of this pen is that nut there in the middle, which I think is really unique. And a lot of their products have this sort of nut design incorporated into them, like in the bottles of the caps of the ink bottles and things like that. The pen is designed to emulate a paintbrush. And so you get that sort of nice slim tapered end. And then when we look at the section, it's a nice slim section. And even like the nib there kind of on this pen looks like the hair of a paintbrush, which I really enjoy. So let's talk about this pen. We'll talk about do like size comparisons and all those kinds of things, writing sample, and then we'll talk about some pros and cons. Top of the pen, nice sort of round, smooth end, swells out to that nut center band there. Then the barrel continues along and then tapers down to a very sort of small sort of cone on the end there. It is a lacquered brass material, so it's very smooth, and it's nice. The pen unscrews in about 2 3/4 turns, which is quite a lot, and it becomes a pretty good length pen unposted. The pen does post, but with this kind of material, and being like brass and metal all around the cap and everything, I would suggest that you don't post this pen. I don't think it needs it in terms of length, and I think it would actually kind of changes the balance of the pen, but could also damage that material. Looking at the section, there's a little step down off the barrel there onto some fairly smooth threads that you don't notice them so much, and then this sort of tapered brass section and down to the nib there. This is a fine. And if you look at it this way up, you see there's this sort of Ferris wheel sort of design engraved into the section, and the F there is for fine, and then Ferris wheel press engraved on the nib. It is a standard international cartridge converter pen, and a converter is provided, even with some sort of like little branding design on the nib, on the converter there. And so it is a nice pen. It does everything it needs to do. Steel nib, made in China, but designed in Canada, and a unique design to them as well. As I said, it's a steel nib, and I think it's about a number 5 size. This is a fine nib. There is also a gold-plated version, and also a medium-sized nib version as well available. Here you can see the Ferris Wheel Press Brush Fountain Pen alongside Alamy Safari. You can see it's got a pretty decent sort of length. It's just actually a little bit longer than Alamy Safari when it is capped. And then when you see it uncapped, you see it's just a couple of millimeters shorter there than the Alamy Safari. As I said, the pen does post, and it posts about the same, once again, a bit shorter again than the Alamy Safari. It's just not a pen I would post, both in terms of the length and feel in the hand, but also just to preserve the quality of that finish. Let's talk about the specs now for the Ferris Wheel Press brush fountain pen. It is 143 millimeters when it is capped. Uncapped, it's 128. As I said, for most hands, I think that would be long enough. Even, if you've got particularly huge hands, it's not going to feel like it's, dwarfed in your hand. It's a very slim pen. In fact, that section is between 7 and 9 millimeters, but it's a decent length. And then when it comes in at posted, it's about 147 millimeters. It weighs 23 grams. 11 in the body, 15 in the body and 8 in the cap. So once again, the balance would go off slightly, but it's not a super heavy pen and very comfortable to write with for long writing sessions because of that. Time for the writing sample now. So here we have had the cap off for a while, which is why a bit of a hard start there. Has a steel fine nib on this one, and the ink here is a Ferris wheel press ink. So Ferris wheel press, and it is Tanzanite Sky. Now, just taking a brief pause from looking at the pen, as well as a pen, I was sent this. This is the ink charger set. It's 3 5mm ink vials. They look a little bit like batteries. In once again, this beautiful, unique in-house packaging. And you get 3 inks in here. You get Tanzanite Sky. This is the original set, sorry. You get Tanzanite Sky, Bluegrass Velvet, and Candy Masala. So this is what the inks look like. So Ferris will press Tanzanite Sky there, this sort of blue-purple colour with some nice gold sheen. Then the Bluegrass Velvet, which is a beautiful darkish teal. And then Candy Masala, which is a lovely dark red, almost browny red sort of colour. So beautiful, 3 beautiful inks. The Ferris wheel press inks are beautiful. They perform well. And this Tanzanite Sky is no exception to that. And all of that package, as well as other inks, are available in Australia from Inked Pens, who, as I said earlier, loaned me this pen for review. Let's see how it writes. To my eye, this is a slightly broad fine, very much a Western fine. It's got some feedback on it. It's not buttery smooth, but it is a super, super pleasant pen to write with. It's got a lovely feel on the page. I really enjoy the tactile experience of writing with this pen. This is Clairefontaine paper, so it is, super smooth. And you just get a nice sensation of connection with the page. Quick writing is beautiful, lovely. It keeps up. It's a stiff nib. It's not going to give you line variation. Reverse writing, very, very fine, and starts to dry out. But that's not what you're here for. Oh, wetness. Let's just do a quick example of that. Not a super wet pen, also not a super, super wet ink, but a really pleasant pen and ink on the page. This pen is beautiful to write with. The weight in the hand, it is a slim pen, but the weight in the hand feels nice. Let's talk pros and cons now of the Ferris wheel press brush fountain pen. I'm going to start with the cons. Firstly, for me, the section is a little on the thin side. Like, just a tiny bit, like a couple of millimeters. But for people who like slim pens, that's going to be absolutely fine. The other issue I have is the feeling of the section. Now, with those engravings, you feel them and it's grippy and it's kind of just a bit... I don't know. It's not a sensation I enjoy. I don't mind if a section has little grooves in it. This just feels a bit... You feel it like it's engraved and it's a bit strange. Let's talk about price here. So in Australia, this pen retails for between 200 and 230 Australian dollars. It can be bought from Ferris wheel press for around 138 US, or from some European retailers for around 106 euro, which puts it in a decently high price point for a steel nib brass lacquered pen. But what are you getting for that? Well, you're getting a unique pen. It is designed by Ferris Wheel Press, who do relatively small runs. We are not talking about, Faber-Castell or Lamy producing hundreds of thousands of pens. We are talking about someone producing relatively small runs. You're also getting the beautiful in-house packaging and all of that. So like this is all done in-house, designed, and that's what they do. And so you are getting a lot of specific things for your money there. The pros for this pen, it's got an excellent nib that is just such a joy to write with. I really like writing with this pen. The feeling on the page is really nice. I like the design. I like the bolt there. I like, those sort of slim tapers and that sort of paintbrush style. If you're a slim pen lover, you are going to love this pen. Like if you can handle the feeling of the engraving on that section, you're going to love it. The other thing I should mention about the engraving on the section is if you fill up the pen by dipping it into the ink bottle, you are going to need to make sure you get something like a slightly damp cloth or whatever to make sure you draw the ink out of that. Otherwise it will stay in those grooves and lines. This pen is beautifully packaged, and the experience of Ferris Wheel Press is lovely. What they do is beautiful. They take great care in how they present and how they package and the experience they give you as the customer. So that's lovely. In fact, as I said, I have this on loan from Inked Pens, who are one of the Australian stockers of Ferris Wheel Press products. And there's a high chance that eventually I'm going to end up getting one of these pens, just because the feeling of that nib on the page is just it's a really lovely, like slightly feedbacky, pencil-y kind of experience, which I really enjoy. So I hope you found this video about the Ferris Wheel Press brush fountain pen useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. Please feel free to get in touch using any of the platforms listed below. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at @the_offstage_me, or you can contact me on any of my videos here, or drop me an email which is listed down below. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel by sponsoring a review or providing an item for review, like Inked Pens have here, their website is down below, I would love to hear from you. Let's see what we can do. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.